directors on board, CEOs on video conference, all senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, and friends, आप सभी को नव वर्ष 2018 की बहुत बहुत हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। मैं विशेष रूप से आप सभी के परिवार के सदस्यों को भी शुभकामनाएं देना चाहूँगा, जिनके सतत सहयोग से हम और आप अपने इस सफर में नई ऊंचाइयां प्राप्त करते आए हैं। सेल की पहचान न सिर्फ हमारे 78,500 कर्मियों से, बल्कि उनके समस्त परिवार के सदस्यों से भी है। Each and every family member is a brand ambassador of SAIL. Our company has faced several challenges during the last 2 years, some of which seemed quite difficult and insurmountable. However, with our collective strength and determination, we have overcome most of these challenges. Last year, on the New Year's Day, when I spoke to you, we had two choices before us. First, of being known to posterity as a loss-making company that succumbed to the times, and second, of being known as a company that beat the circumstances. I am happy that you chose the latter, and with your efforts and hard work, we have made opening profit in the last 6 quarters. Already gone. This journey from annual losses of more than 7,000 crore in financial year 16 to EBITDA positive in financial year 17, cash profit in the last quarter, and finally gearing up to be PBT positive in the next year. It is nothing short of phenomenal. Watering the green shoots which were visible in the last financial year, we have attained operating profit of 967 crores in quarter 2 of this financial year, which is more than the whole of the previous years and highest of the preceding 5 quarters. We earned cash profit of rupees 323 crore in quarter 2 of this financial year after a gap of 9 quarters. This is the victory of 78,000 employees. And the ignited minds of SAIL. Friends, the worst is behind us, but we must not rest. The pace of turnaround must accelerate. This is the time to write a lasting legacy. I have always believed that once in a lifetime, every person faces an opportunity to prove his worth. This is one such opportunity given to us. We must prove that we are resilient to the core and unbreakable like the steel we make. Though we have tasted success, it is still not to the desired measure. We are still some way from the target. I want you to act now, act fast, and act with belief, because this opportunity will never come again. Safe people, clean environment, efficient processes, happy customers, and a healthy bottom line. The goals of business are simple. Establish systems, train people, disciplined working, and innovative thinking. The ways of business are even simpler. One subject that is very close to my heart is safety of our entire workforce. There have been 16 fatal accidents in the year 2017. Remember, nothing is more important than human life. A job is not well done if there is a compromise on safety. Let us all resolve today to make safety the cornerstone of our work practices. Remember, we owe this to our company and to our families to be safe. During past few months, I have visited different units of company and interacted extensively with a large number of our colleagues across the company. I must say that I am enthused with the energy and commitment of our people. All that we need is to focus this energy and provide the right direction. Culture and engagement can make or break. HR function has a critical role to play. It needs to define the people processes and system needed to build the culture and track the pulse of the organization on an ongoing basis. An engaged workforce is a productive workforce. We must make our efforts to get our ideas across to those at the grassroots. The success of our strategies rests on 78,000 employees. And it's important that all the employees subscribe to these ideas. I have been frequently reviewing and closely monitoring the performance of all our units. In order to achieve our targets, we must re-engineer our operations, improve our market orientation, organize our finances better, and capitalize on our human resources. We have made huge investment in our facilities and people. These cannot be allowed to remain idle. We have commissioned most of our new facilities. The remaining ones are poised for early commissioning. We have to focus on potential utilization of all recently commissioned units in this year. Cost competitiveness can be achieved in many ways, but the foremost is the fullest possible utilization of the available capacity. Remember, we should not just be satisfied with achieving capacity. We should always strive to explore our full potential, which is even beyond nameplate capacity. Production from efficient units must be ramped up. We are the second largest iron ore miner of the country. We must produce the best raw material and have efficient and robust logistic arrangements. We have to feed all the units in a smooth fashion and ensure that a stock of all raw materials, including coal, are available in sufficient quantities to meet the production targets. The next major fulcrum of our activities are our customers. We need to revamp our marketing structure with renewed focus on customer needs by creating value for customers. Our key account management must be sharp, and we must focus on a well-developed distributor model. At the same time, there needs to be a greater synergy between our internal processes like production, marketing, and align them based on the customer needs. The marketing approach also needs to be reoriented to fetch higher NSR and enhance the reach. This will be achieved only when we place greater focus on high margin products and on geographies that offer better NSR. We should also leverage our marketing potential by penetrating rural markets through campaigns like Sale Steel, Now Yours. These activities will help us achieve improved last mile connectivity and ensure that we reach out to our customers. Another challenge which we are facing presently and which might hamper our volumes in the near future is the absence of an effective and efficient logistics setup. We should take immediate action on having a multi-modal logistics arrangement to smoothly place our material throughput the geographies without hiccups. I believe that the biggest hurdle in the path to achieve something really great are the mental limitations set up by us. In the past few quarters, we have seen that we can challenge the status quo and achieve financial successes. But we need to take this winning streak forward by strengthening our balance sheets. In order to ease pressure on liquidity, we must rationalize our debt portfolio and get better realization by reducing inventory. We also need to draw the roadmap for monetization of our non-critical assets. With these steps, the market capitalization should improve, signs of which are already visible in the performance of Q2 of financial year. One thing that I strongly believe is that we must encourage bold decisions and foster innovations. This will broaden our horizons and bring about greater synergy. Something that I have been emphasizing in all large group interactions held throughout the year. I believe that our working must be a combination of the strength and experience of veteran employees and the energy and enthusiasm of our younger generation. Such a culture will result in overall development of the workforce through better knowledge, sharing, learning and export. You and only you are the masters of your destiny. What to say, what to earn, when to take charge of a situation is all in your hands and act. If each one of us decides to bring about this change, there is no challenge big enough to stop us. There will always be choices, voices constantly telling what cannot be done, what is impossible, what is not acceptable. We are expected to do what has been practiced for years, even though our challenges may be new. We need to break free from all such dogmas. We need to challenge the prevailing practices and offer a viable alternative. Once we start doing this, we will be able to achieve a lot more in a shorter span of time. We will be able to rise over the barriers of gestation, time frames, and conformities. Stamp charging batteries were never accepted in our company, even though our competitors benefited from it. Today, even after 27 years, there is still debate. I think we must give up this xenophobia, this fear of new things, and think of what new can be done. In the year 1983, when the Indian cricket team beat the West Indies, most people did not believe that India could become world champions. Yet we created history. This happened not because the team had an easy going. It happened because 11 men believed they could lift the World Cup. We have a similar situation here before us. All we need to do is believe that we can conquer the adversity. We need to be internally driven, and people need to be convinced that what they dream is within their grasp. If we start with this kind of confidence, then our pace of achievement will be better. This means that we will have to make sacrifices, looking at the bigger picture and win the war rather than small battles. I feel the fear of new things is just another manifestation of the fear of failure. I ask you, why should we ridicule failures? On the contrary, if we succeed each time, that is when we must ask ourselves, are we taking enough risk? Are we bold enough? Our projects are delayed because we are not bold. Our lack of knowledge stops us from being bold. I can assure you that even with all perceived constraints that you can be bold and can find ways to move forward. While dwelling on the project, I would like to emphasize that apart from bold and balanced decision making, it is also important for our projects and works present to work hand in hand right from the conceptualization and through the implementation phase for the successful completion and fruition of these projects. Moreover, as project owners, we have to create a win-win situation for all the stakeholders, including our vendors. Each of us must remember that even Edison failed 1,000 times before he invented a light bulb. You have the same kind of potential, just don't lose energy halfway. I agree that the times are challenging, but they are for everyone. How is it that some of the market players are still able to do well? It means something is missing in our efforts. We are making efforts, but perhaps without focusing on the larger picture. We need better exposure to global working, timely inputs, and the right direction to make these efforts. Our HR team must keep abreast of the challenging times and must provide inputs at the right time. The last point I would like to make today is that every win or loss teaches us something. It is important that we analyze our failures. I have come to believe that our decisions are rarely long. Mostly our implementation is half-hearted. My advice is when you do something, put your heart into it. SAIL is a great organization, not because it does more or has a big establishment, but because it has a great team. SAIL is a great because each one of you is unique and is equally important. We belong to a great legacy and we must make sure that we leave behind a greater legacy for the future employees of this company. With your dedication, each one of you has contributed to the stature of this company. We all are like drops in the ocean without which the ocean cannot exist and because of which we have a glorious identity. Synergy is the word. We must act in harmony to take on the market challenges, create world-class products, operate with better efficiencies, earn more profits, nurture and value our customers, and add value in the entire value chain. In order to achieve what we desire, we must rise above dogma that has stopped us from achieving success. I convey my sincere thanks to the Government of India, the Ministry of History, all state governments, statutory bodies, CISF, media, all stakeholders, all employees, and more importantly, their families, for supporting this organization at every step in this journey towards a turnaround. I once again take this opportunity to thank your families and thank you for your support. Peace of mind comes when there is support of family. It fills me with pride when I receive news on achievements of our children across plants and units. I wish happiness to the support pillars of our lives. मैं आपको एक बार फिर नए साल की शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और आशा करता हूं कि वर्ष 2018 आप सभी के लिए खुशियों, मन और समृद्धि से भरपूर